Welcome back to the Center for Off-Road Research, Shenanigans, and Science Technical Division. And today I just want to take a look at I got this new Mini24. It's a HOBBYWING Mini24, the Quicrun. And I just wanted to see how it compares in size to the NanoBeast from MoFo. And they are dramatically different. I really like the MoFo NanoBeast because it is tiny. And this is quite a bit larger. Hopefully it has more torque or speed or something to justify its extra bulk, but I would say it's almost twice as big. It didn't initially look like that, but that's a good size motor in comparison. Anyway, I was going to try to put it in this, my RB1, but I wish I had something the size of this NanoBeast, because this thing is a really great motor. It's tiny and it uses this little bitty Lizard Pro, which is a great ESC. The one that comes from HOBBYWING is a bit larger, and it's waterproof though. It's in a case. I haven't even got it out of the package yet, but I don't do unboxing videos. Anyway, I am going to try to fit this into my RB1 and make sure that nothing touches it, because it is an outrunner motor. So I'm not going to film the install, but maybe I'll find out how much this weighs in comparison to the stock motor. Here's another note about this Mini24 motor, the HOBBYWING Mini24. It has a different size output shaft than a stock motor, which is another downside that I'm finding out. That the NanoBeast has a stock everything, it bolts right in, comes with a pinion on it. This one does not. I'm very fortunate that I have a PN Racing motor mount, because if I didn't, it won't bolt on it will not bolt in the stock position. And also, stock gears do not go on the output shaft because it's a 0.5 millimeter bigger. But because I have this, I can proceed with the project. Kind of not happy about that, but it is what it is. Hopefully it's worth it. Because of the added height of this motor, and I'm having some packaging issues, and it does not want to fit in here. So it's not going to go in here. That's the long and short of it. So I think I'm going to pull the NanoBeast that I really like out of this truck and put it in this truck, because it has a better chance of fitting. This one's never going to fit, and I'm not about to redesign this entire truck, because it was perfect. It just didn't have a brush motor. This one over here had a PN90 in it, so I know that it can accept one. I just didn't want to have to swap drivetrains, because I actually like this one a lot how it was. So it's getting this motor. It's going to have a little bit higher center of gravity than the MoFo NanoBeast, and not happy about that. I should have just bought another NanoBeast and put it in. It's twice as much money almost, because you got to buy a separate motor mount and ESC, where the Mini24 does not come with a gear, doesn't come with a motor mount, and you got to do something different with it. So I've done something different. This one is going to go in to my original camo rig, so hadn't planned on that. That's what's happening next. But if you get the Mini24, just be aware that you're going to have to change a bunch of stuff. I was not aware of that. Not a big deal, but it's not ideal. Anyway, moving on. Here's another size comparison of the ESCs. And the Quicrun is, like I said, it's waterproof, but man, it takes a lot more space than this flat little board. So this will fit much better inside the chassis of my torn up RB1 right now, but man, that's a big unit. It's going to go in the same place, and I don't think it'll cause any problems, but It's bigger than I would have liked. Well, the good news is on this truck I didn't have to take the skid plate out in order to mount this. I already had it inverted so that it would point forward with the old PN90 mount. It used to have a PN90 before it had the MoFo NanoBeast, so it went right in, no problem. So all that's left is to see if I can't package the NanoBeast into my RB1 over there. And as you can see, I've got two trucks torn up. They're both a mess. This one will need calibrated and tuned. I do have the equipment to do that, but this one's ready to go. Other than that, this is why I like the NanoBeast. On a space critical build, it's almost not there. And I'll try to move my light here so you can get a better view of that. But it's almost not even there. It's so tiny. It doesn't rub on any of my current bodywork that I have inside holding the ESC. And by moving the engine forward instead of back, it used to have the stock motor back here in this area. It opens up this entire area here to mount the Lizard Pro up underneath. So it'll be super clean install. You won't see anything different than you saw before. And it's going to be a sweet brushless setup. So I'm very, very excited about that. And might have given it a little more forward weight bias than it had previously. If I need to, I can always throw a rear diff cover on that, a brass one. So I don't know that I'll need it. I'll throw it on the scales afterwards. I've got a scale that measures the weight at all four wheels. So I get it put together and everything repackaged, make sure no wires are touching the outrunner here. By running the outrunner, I do have to run an open gear here. I wasn't really thrilled about that, but I don't generally drive my trucks outside anyway, so it's not a problem, and it's not going to be in sand, so I'm not worried about it. Anyway, I'll get it thrown back together. We'll get both trucks calibrated, and we'll see the difference between the two of them. All right, both of these have had a fresh calibration on it. I just did that. So we'll start with the back one. This is the Mini24 motor from HOBBYWING. And as you can tell, it's got a nice slow rotation. Just barely creeping along. I mean, it's what you would want to have. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nice and slow. Let's try the MoFo, the NanoBeast. I almost feel like they're very close, but the NanoBeast just barely has it, I think, on the slow end. Yeah, it definitely does. But they're very close to each other. That's as slow as they both go. I think the NanoBeast is just a little slower. Let's do a drag race top speed. This will be the top speed race, and I've got the Mini24 on the right and the MoFo RC NanoBeast on the left, and we're just going to punch it and see what happens. They're not much different. The Mini24 has it on top speed just a little bit. However, my ESC apparently is set a little stronger for the NanoBeast for reverse. But it's got plenty of punch, good wheel speed. Happy with that. And I may go into the program card on the Mini24 and punch that all the way up to max reverse. Right now it's on 50%. And I don't think I like that. So I'll go in and fix that. And I think they're pretty much the same. The major difference being the MoFo RC is probably half the weight and it's much smaller. And you could package it into a much smaller area. And that's what I needed for the RB1 with my current setup. So we'll do a little bit of crawling with them here at the rock course in a little bit. So let me get that program card out and fix the Mini24 reverse. That's just not enough. Alright, I did just have this set up, and I increased my max reverse force to full. And the way you do it is you just take off that dust cap there and just plug in your wire with the white, one of the white wire closest to the button. So when you do that, this will light up and you can go through the values. And the values are on this little chart here that comes with the paperwork. And I don't know why they didn't just give you a full max reverse. That's what I like. But you do need to have this program card to change the values on the Mini24 motor. On the FairyTech, you just use Bluetooth. And I literally have to take my drive shaft out so I can get into that little plug down there in the center of the screen there. But I don't know which one's easier. This is probably easier. You just plug it in. And if I was to leave the Bluetooth one connected continuously, like on the Speedbolt, that would be easier. But as it is, they're both about the same. You just do it different. One of the reasons that I kind of got out of the 24 scene was the fact that I bought the HOBBYWING Fusion Pros for my 10 scale stuff. And after running with FOC brushless motors, I hated coming back to my brush motors on the SCX24s that had no power and stalled a lot. Well, with these new motors, it has FOC, so you're never struggling for power with these new brushless motors, and it's just fantastic. I really think this is a game changer, and it's just in time because I really enjoy this. This is a lot of fun, and I just couldn't take the fact that the brushless motors were no good, or the brush motors for the SCX24s were what I wanted for weight, but previously to this current generation of motor, the old motors are just too heavy, and the new motors, especially that NanoBeast, that is just a tiny little motor. It's in this rig right here, and it has all the torque you want. It's not struggling for torque one bit. It's got plenty of push even at these slow speeds. Probably gonna flip it because it's gonna descend a little steep here, but maybe not, we'll see. But anyway, it's just as slow as you want it. And with these new motors, you have all day to make changes to your line, whatever you want to do. And that's for sure going to flip here, but that's okay. I'm just showing you the slow crawl speed here. And if you need the wheel speed, it's there. Very impressed with the NanoBeast. Now the NanoBeast paired with the FairyTech Lizard Pro is about twice the price, but it does fit in smaller areas like this truck here, and it is quite a bit lighter. So if you want the extreme performance side, I recommend the NanoBeast from MoFo RC, just because you're not going to have weight where you don't want it. It's got a high side of there. If you're looking for a competition rig and you want the best center of gravity, you want to have no unnecessary weight, well, that's the one to get. Now, if you're looking for something that's just good, and you could still compete with the HOBBYWING 24, it's just you're giving away a little bit of size and a little bit of weight, both in the motor and the ESC. I'll get the other one out and run it too. Here goes the HOBBYWING Mini24. Just smooth power. I was thinking a wheel. This chassis does run a little bit smoother than my RB1, but that's because it has, well, I'm not sure. It just runs smoother. A little bit higher center of gravity. Still running the Patagonia tires though. I just really like those. Try to get you a little better view here. I'll drive it one-handed while I hold the camera. This is a slightly bigger can, and I almost feel like it works a little bit less hard, just because it's a bigger motor. But the slow crawl is pretty much identical. So I guess I'd say that if you're building a comp rig and every little ounce counts, every milligram or gram or whatever we're talking about, I think the MoFo RC NanoBeast with the Fury Tech is probably the good ticket. But if you have plenty of space in your rig and you know, you're still getting an excellent motor that doesn't weigh that much more, but it does take up a little more space. The ESC weighs a little more, but honestly, the way they crawl is pretty much identical. The only thing you're giving away with this motor is some space and some weight, but it's probably not that much to worry about unless you physically can't fit it in your car. So had a gun it there. The Mini24 is actually really responsive, and I feel like it drives a little smoother. It's just a little more buttery, which is pretty good. They're both excellent motors, I'll say that. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I've got to order one more motor. I've got a 1/18 scale RB1 that I'm building. It's a wide axle with a I'll just show it to you. I would consider this one a 1/18 because it's on Gladiator suspension links, and it is a bit wider than a standard SCX24. It also has Swamp King tires on it, and right now it has a PN90 motor in there, which will swap out just motor for motor for another Mini24, and I think that's what I'm going to put in here, just because it's half the price of the MoFo RC, and I have the room, so probably get it and throw it in there. But that's another video. This thing is actually really capable. I need to figure out a way to kind of control the body a little bit, because it's sort of floaty and it likes to suddenly flip over when it's side heeling. It does well until it doesn't, but I think a new motor will help this a lot. But this will be my 118 comp rig for Cedar Rapids when I go to Crash and Bash Hobbies next time. I think it'll hurt some feelings. That's all for tonight. We'll talk to you later.